Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Tashi Delek, and welcome to all the viewers of Dharma television around the world. I am Khadro Lhamo Yangchen, the interpreter for the following Rinpoche program, and today is on our 16th episode. We are very fortunate to have Sangngak Tenzin Rinpoche to share the precious wisdom on mind training. I request Rinpoche to share, please, precious teaching for all of us. Simjin namgi samba tang loi cheda cheda wa chejong thumon thebai chugi korlo kodosul.
Gara togar jin nyambong ga yenden kanjong ga jitse nyambong donzu beber namjerba. Nunchen ramjem shala sorwan de domingombo bardan la mala nyamne chulkir tawi mukeje tonjer gombe shin lon nyang lambu. Rupar zaji wanjin tobar sho. Teni yang nambat sangmala terang yang jirnjar bega teni gabochong teni jende teni ta jarbu losrla teni nambat sangmala trashi dele shigiyos.
So I'm very happy to see you all again and would like to convey Tashi Delek on the Gelbo Losar.
Tatani Tatanga so council that Tani Sangji teaching young red, Tendrichi de Talo Jikanala, teaching Tender Zachimbo, Tender Yubiganoni, Tata Chomtel Davas and ta lo sarva ga tani chomtre davi ga teaching la tera yang arang sondana tani chuga tani gacha shaji chongba hodela tani gabu chongs.
So in a year there are various precious and auspicious days where Buddha had manifested different enlightened activities. So the first month is called the miracle month.
Tendri indi ta tani tili jang arang so ji ta chuga gacha she segura tan kabda chego na segona raga tendri ge tani ta karambuche tani sunam jerme kong tipche ge ta tang arang so yang tani chuga tendri ji dalina ji ta jongdar segura ta jongdar se na jigde tendri ji arang so la che ya ge tendri korkab tang jigda sangma kasa kana ji yonayang ji partak ni undawra tagni undaw jigda ani tabdego wondendre ge goni tani ta ji ngarang sondendre ji jongdar che ya tendri yo pares.
So with this platform created by the great aspirations of Ken Rinpoche Sonam Jerme, so even we all stay in a very different places of this world, but through this platform we feel as if we are staying very nearby and got this precious opportunity to share the Dharma teachings and training.
Tendri indi ta ngarang so kansu gore ta ji chuga gacha tendri shege yore ngaso khasang ne konda ta lob jongor ba tendre ji ta des intipshe yavra o tendre shibare tendre indi taso ta terang ngaso ta lo sarvi ge tamboro tendre indi jing ngaso terang yang ta ji khasang ngaso jamro go josha zo de jamro go ji tene jiktel ni senerwa tigu kortela ngaso ta le tsangmati nang la tendre shiores.
So throughout the previous episode we had shared about the cause of refuge, which is fear and faith, which already shared in the previous episodes, and had been sharing on the various series of teachings on mind training.
Sedang sa ina namba tsangma ji rang rang da chali mangbo tendri yujire 상마라 차리 든지 요래데 있나요? 되게 쇼르데라 가서 그랬다. 지금 담비 추그 더니 자와대요. 개체무지가 쓰고야 돼. 개체몬도스. 레마토 하나서 직땡 자와 코나 지금 라양니 가서 그래. 담비 추그 쇼르데라다 지금 가서 그래. 지금 질은 마제로와 든지 진 티셔츠 송색으로 다 티셔츠라고 든지 가르스나더니 노송바이나 대형 지금 방법든지레스.
So today is the first day teaching for this Losar, the New Year, and so even though you all have different worldly activities to engage in, yet as you take a time to listen to Dharma teachings, so it is very important to do. And though we all engage in different worldly activities, but it is if we lag behind in a personal spiritual training or practicing on Dharma teachings, then it is very pity. So it is very important not to lag behind and to give interest and importance on the spiritual practice too.
근데 인디 다소 가세나다 추세야 되게 간세고래 땅아서 지금 무슨 직된 이급그 나랑서 그 데르지르와 데르질대요 담비 추동탄 바지르와 추델라 가르세나 지금 투손 네 속정으로와 냠는 던저 남바이나 드니 간소고래 다지 이급그 가르세나 직된 첸데 그 람가대요 돈당당 바지 연구요래 근데 인디 다소 갈선나지 추냠내세야데 세시마 코나지 그 제도 안에 말에 근데 인디 영아랑 소고 강서고 첸딜라요 자와 탐지 고롱 돈동 담바지 용야동 제 치마라요 강서고래 네가랑 소라 지 람가 약보지 요여와 노르디나 담비 추세야데 첸드당 드니 시마니기 이게 던저거다 돈다 던저 가첸지그레스.
So training on Dharma teachings and practicing through hearing, contemplation and meditation is very crucial. So it is not only meant for the next life ahead, and through Dharma practice we got to make our temporary life also very meaningful. So so all what we engage in, if we train ourselves in a spiritual practice, then all work will be very meaningful. In this life also will be accomplished, and of course for the next lives also. So practicing Dharma meant for both of this life and next life ahead.
뭐야 드니 텔라 롱첸바 그요 드니 맹아치 가르송 요리 센나더니 건서그래 다지 담저 그 다당아서 리텐지 토비요로와 대가르센나더니 담저 그 리텐데 드니 다 토르제 드라마 그르세로와 어떤지 지달이나 텐디송 요레스.
So the great master Longchenpa also stated one quote that don't give up your precious life for the enemy of just mere fooding and lodging, or fooding or clothing. So this means for the livelihood. So in gist it means don't give up your precious life for livelihood only.
근데 이제 다가 지금 다 조거더니 이 작바 삼지로와 근데 지금 가서나 지금 가서 지금 등록도 소개하더니 등록이로와 어떤데 저래 근데 이제 다 성가서 지금 다 잡더니 가서나 라토로라 소바 든지 가서나 지 고야 요바당 양나지 둘로 냥지보당 지보든지 고야가 쳇다당 드니 가서나 소소라 지 소와 약보 용어야로와 다 든저 가서나 칼라사 약보 용어야 다 든저 그 тур집 그 쳇코나 지라더니 배주 땅송바 있나 다때 가서나 드니 배마스 그 강서 그래 배주 총종으로 왔더니 배주 총종 든저 지래 든저 다서 되게 짐선 텔라더니 달리 가서나 담중 그 리던데 배마스 짜침 보지그래서 든저 돈다 총종 지게 쳇라더니 강서 그래 다때 배주 땅니 마서 리던데 적송바 있나 다때 신드니 방보레에서니 어든지 송겨레스.
Yes. So the meaning of the above quote is if we spend our precious human life which we adorn just to fill our stomach, which the other animals also can fill their stomach. And if we spend our life merely to have a better clothing or good livelihood, for the delicious food to enjoy, so if we spend our life merely focusing to accomplish these lifestyle, then even though however our life is precious, yet we are making our life less meaningful, and we are spending our life in a very short term in a meaningless way. So if we do that way, it is really pity. Yeah. And it is a great loss if we spend our precious life in this way.
Tende indi taso ta karsena chi ta tamje litende tobyongde litende ta kansa gore za chembure de peju yapo tangba yinna tani kansa gore ta chechigla litende ge tani tene sarji ge kompang sene nga so chi ta chi katrak chembo za chembo ro tende de yang ta ngarang so ge tamje ge litende tani tobu yor wa tende ge karsena peju ja chembo chi ta nga so kansa gore ta chi go ta lika chig thopnirawa lika chig thop songnatani ta tendrigda che mangbo chig karsenatani sosola metsela lika chig ra tani khala saya chig yo ta jishiba na jin jabla konya desa ge ne kaunda nindre chig rig songti tasuta tamjir ke litende ge chig tonda cho songre samsam ra chig ra tendre te karsenatani tambi chu ngoni shebaina ta te tarong pe mas tonda chongchong res tendrigi yo mares tendre ni longchen ba ge yang ta jishiba yamba tene karse to Dharma karasena tendrichi khona ga tanga chete dharese to me ba karsena za chebe ge tamje le tenden thola tang ya ge tang she ge tang ken ge wa dra rese ne odni song de gas.
So many of us think that if we have a very good livelihood, if we have delicious food to enjoy and very good clothing to wear and a good livelihood, then we think, okay, we have accomplished very good in this very life. But that is that accomplishment is a very less accomplishment. And that's why Longchenpa had stated that livelihood, delicious food, clothing, he perceived these are as the enemy. Because if we spend our precious life in accomplishment of these, then we are giving up our precious life just for the very less achievement. So what we can achieve through attaining this precious life is the attainment of Buddhahood in this very lifetime through making the best use of making this life meaningful through the Dharma practice. So that way is very important. Yet if we think another other way just for the livelihood, then it is a great waste of our precious human life.
Tani nyumong bi dala yang makar rawa tani namyang ga dala yang makar rawa tani karsana chi toku la so pa torjib ga dala yang makar rawa ta zot tani karsana tani simdela tani tandri ga dala tani makar somba ina ta le tande kansa gore chi tani tondang damba chi tani chakpares.
So if we don't give up our precious human life for the enemies of afflictive emotions, for the enemy of distraction, for the enemy of livelihood, mere fooding and clothing, then if we don't give up our precious life for these three enemies, then we are making our life very meaningful.
Tende indi taso karsana tene ngaso tata liten tamjur ki liten to ta tandre ji tambi chu den ja ondi taso tene ngara so kanso gur ta ji kasang shiba nam jin ngaso gu jamro ni zondera ta lam gu tene ramba kandi yona te so so gu tene ta ji ramba jin de tene kantap to ji ne nyamlen nang ya de res.
So, through attaining this precious human life, adorned with all the advantages to practice Dharma, then that is the way of making our life very meaningful, like shared teachings on mind training before, about practicing of refuge and contemplating on the other teachings that shared already before. Yeah.
Tendri in the Tatani, Dani Longchimbaga country, Senatani, Tela Tomer Jigby Chuturis and Tenderson, Tomer Jigba City Toma country, Senani, and also Chita, Nyamlen Tambo, Jinili Tambo Pasegrava, Tendri Dane Tambo, Namba Sanji Bichula, Tendre, Chishigon di Tasso, Tangaran Sogo Carsenatani, Chegoya Carriores, Nyamlen Songoya Carriores, and Tate Chion, Tixen Gonet and Jima Songores.
So, after adorning this precious human life, then there is a first entrance to the path as a beginner. So, Longchenpa had stated the 6 points for the beginners to entrance on the path of Dharma.
Tani Tambo de Andre Senatani Lamji Jitin, Lamsum Sombatang, Sera Lamg Jitin de Carsenani, Lapasum Seni Tendre Carsenatani, Domba Tambo Songova, Otandi Sonyores.
So the first point is So first point is to pursue on the path of Dharma, practicing on the threefold training. So and absorbing this threefold training, which is training of discipline, training on concentration and wisdom. So that is the first point.
That in the Gansena Strum Lapa Tangani, Tangan Lapa, Sheriff Lapa, Tendrega Gansenata, Lapasum, Gutendrici, Nyamlena Yorwa, Nyamlena, Dombason on the Tangaran Soyang Tambo, the Tambo Painayan, Nambasan Jibi Chugo and the Chisho on the Tasutang Sogo, Consegore, any Domba Nari, Nagotene Consegurta, Contab Sonirwa, what in Drugatani, Nyamlen and the Nango Yores.
So, as walking on the path of Dharma, as a beginner, it is very important to train on the training of discipline and then concentration and also the wisdom. So these are very important to preserve and observe as taking vow on the practicing of these threefold trainings.
Tende tata karsena ngaran sochi karwa zambore tene karsena sunam tene yopate la tene ngaso la domba yang tendre sonya yore rema tons jerwa ngaso tate liten di tande ngaran so gu domba ndra tendre song ma thap song ena ngaso chi chewa shi ma yang na ga so cha tang jiwen da u ge liten le ne yona ne ngaso tene de jamro domba song thap gu mare rwa tene song shi gu mare tene karsena gening gu domba yang karsena tene len thap gu mare ro tendre re ta nam jing karsena chi ta chi tendre da u ge liten nang yong ba ina yang ne te ngaran so chu chi bi gu ka se go re ta chi sunam nga karsena tendre liten le na tendre ro chi karsena ta chi tsa ya po yo sa che yo po yo sa dindila karsena chi che wa len se gre mar tos che wa yang nga so chi jamru domba nyamlen che agen domba songa yo pa dindige le tende karsena tene te dindige korkup karwate yo mares.
Now, as we taken in the form of humans, we are very fortunate because we got to practice on the refuge vow, the precepts of lay persons. So that's why we need to think that how fortunate we are, because this life we take as a human life, yet we are not sure what physical forms we take in a next life. So if we take next life in a form of birds, then even though we might get the good fortune to have where there are good water or good fruits to enjoy, yet in that animal forms we don't get to practice on refuge vow or the lay precepts. So it is very important to contemplate how fortunate we are.
Tendre indita kansena tendre listen 다다 공드시바 나진 자당 지부 등로라 소바다 덴디 그 단절 글리던 마임비기다 지금 리튼 마스 그 가르스는 타이바 지겨와 덴르 몽보 지겨다 덴르 지그 가르스나더니 리튼데 가랑 소지 len menroya ga tata danso yo mare ngarang so sem gna tadi khan chi yo mare ro tende inta so tende chi gele tende len somba na tata konde shiba na jin tene ngaso jamru domba tene shia yo mare gening domba tende songa yo marwa o tende indi ta so tate pe mas ga kadi chi la ngaso tende karba chi yang chi yang cher toba te ta ngaso chi kangs ga tata shen so ku koran matak ba o tende chi rest
so as we taken as a human form, but there is no guarantee what physical forms we might take in the next life ahead, because there are different and innumerable other physical forms like birds, animals, and innumerable physical forms. So we are not sure what, and we have no confidence whether we take again a precious human life in next life or not.
근데 이제 가랑 소타다 니 샘근나나더니 자득지 제고 근데 간도레스나 다 나가서 다다 리텐데 가르스나니 인지 종로비 그 갑텔라라 망발라더니 가서 영치를 가서 가서 그래 멀리 토비알라 가서 자득 가르치고 근데 영나 주님네 약보 지니 가서 그래 다 지가르스나 온가 대화 장기 상금난 로기 인세나요 대화 장기 상금난 로토비하게 차진 코랑 주기나 송자여와 다가 남진 가르스나 땅가 영치를 멀리 주든지 토바게 답시 제국인도 상나요 다단이 샘근나가 자득지 나더니 가르스나더니 제국을 말독스 치러왔더니 니 가서서 샘근나가 든지게 차진 자득 가요 마치 송바이나 영치는 든지게 멀리 주든 토바데 배 갈레 카포레스.
So it is very important to prepare our mind from now onwards, because if we think we would like to reborn in a next life again as a precious human life, then we really need to engage in Dharma practice. And so if we prepare our mind that next life I would like to reborn in a pure realms, so for that we need to practice on Dharma. So it is very important to prepare our mind from now onwards. Otherwise, it is very rare and very rare to attain again precious human life, because the life we are living now is about to perish. So it is very important to prepare our mind from now onwards.
근데 인데 가랑서 그 잠루고 다다니 샘근나가 다득시르와 근데 잠루 돈바시 이 개념그 돈바든데 송르와 언제지 지달이나더니 가랑서 다다니 다득지고 근데 돈바 송바데 가르쳐진 지그레스 근데 나서 가르스나다 지 잠루 돈바시 개념그 돈바 던졌더니 송데 다서 가르스나지 다 가서 그 밀리 양철밀리 출든지 토비알라 가서 그 가서 그래 돈바 송고 근데로와 되니 가서 그랬다 지금 되니 가서 그 샘근나라 대파 템부고 근데로와 lama kunjoksan la karsana ni teba tembu chirwa matendreji tene karresena tene ngarang sogo chi choksa go nirwa choksa go tene charchin tuzo changmatani ni ji rangu ni changyondi taso 영 제와 지마나 가서 영치르면이 줄든지 던지고 가rsana 제대 원나 송디 taso 딘 지우테 가rsana 지 러바메 바 던지 용그레스.
So we really need to prepare our mind from now onwards. Like in previous translation, I missed one point about we really need to prepare our mind. What are the causes and conditions that led us to reborn in the pure realms of Amitabha like that? So it is, while having this precious human life, it is very crucial to practice on the refuge vow, take the precepts, different precepts, and also there's also lay people precepts, and the cause to practice on refuge is having a firm faith to the gurus and three jewels, and accumulations of merit, engaging in virtuous activities.
근데 이제 가르쳐놨더니 다 tani tenje te karsana tani domba ngarang suma song songa na la dang mei kompang ya top top mares tende ni la yi dang mei kompang te yang karsana tani ko chitrem domba song bi gen jibu jirwa ten jibu indi ta song aso tata ni karsana chi domba ma song songa na jiwa shima yang chang aso la yi li ten dang mei li ten on den ri yang karsana top top mare tende indi tata ni aso kang top top ko karsana chi domba re chi yin na yang tani chi song ya la kom ni rwa
So the above trainings are very important. So that's training in a discipline through observing and preserving on the vows we take of refuge vow and different other precepts. It is also okay even if we could preserve one precepts. So if we could preserve and observe in these vows, then that will enable us to reborn as a precious human life or in heavenly realm in next life ahead. Otherwise, it is very rare to again, if we don't observe or preserve in the vows of like refuge and any precepts, then it is very difficult to reborn again in next life as a human or heavenly realms.
Tendri any jamro dombashi tendri dachi kansagore gaining domba sonya la dachi tini ya langa tendri tendri sonya yorwa soma tendri sonya yore teni tegnane karsana chi sogma chupata wo teni ya lak chigrwa tendri karsana teni ya lak chig kansagore 다 tendri dombachi teni karsana teni leni na song tabayi na yang teni kansagore ni domba song bares.
Yes. So as we can engage in a practice of observing the refuge vow, and then on the top of that there's also 5 lay people precepts. For example, if we can also engage in one vow like not killing. If we engage in if we observe not killing, then also that is observing the observing the one precepts of lay people.
Tendri ndo karsana teni dombate chigta rangni mashi parterwa o tendri gu kansagore chig titsol yang tendri chigla karsana yang ki lenena tendri ji song tabayina pe masar kata chi mixer gu yakporwa tendri mayena yang chig songya gu tapsi meba tendri mares teni songya gu tapsi yore pena karsana chig dawa chig nangla yang tichin tendri teni karsana mambol hegundaga tichin mambol hegure na karsana chig chiba chunga tang jine namgang rawu o tendela yang karsana teni karsana soso gu chi kanso gure chi domba soya gu tapsi tab dibu tang tendri karsana teni ni mambo yores.
So for example, the taking vow of not killing for the whole life, that is very good. But if you can't do that also, it is very crucial to take the vow of not killing like twice a month, like on the full moon or the new moon. So even there are different ways to observe the engaging in taking vow of any one of that so there are different options.
Tendri indi tenga so namjen kansa gore super maniba segura ta chik sul matba ge tendri ga karsana tani chik tak tang tani sangge la so ba o to so tamjin namjen su thabu yang marwa tani karsana so ya ra kayang marela tendri karsana so ba tamchi ga karsana tani rangjen ge gewa chigri ti tang la o tangi terang chipa jonga la kansa gore tani tak tani so ge men se to ma so ya ge mse ti tang la tang so ya ge dumba leng yin kilen tamcha ge yin se na tani karsana ni chipa chunga la tani kansa guri churung ka tak masuliya tang taga namjin te tang somba ge sangge karsana tani ngi sogu min se ni watandri ka karsana tani kono tamcha ni tani domba song chokore tani iba ina karsana ni chik domba song bi ge payin rawa ote tani kar tobures.
So for example, there are different methods to engage in taking precepts. So for example, if you think not killing of tiger or lion, these animals are not even available to be killed in our life. So not killing it